Good morning, students. Now, today it's our fourth lecture of this chapter, friction. Okay, as we have yesterday discussed about what is lubricant, okay, and why friction is a necessary evil. Okay, means why the friction is that much necessary that we have to be used in a daily basis, and even it is also be reduced. Okay, means in some of the conditions we have to reduce the friction. Okay, so both the things are there, as it is necessary also, and somewhere we have to be reduce its force also. Now today our next topic is wheels reduce friction. Okay, so what was that? You must have seen attaches and other pieces of luggage lifted with rollers. Even a child can pull such pieces of luggage. Why is it so? Let us find out. Yes, in our luggage bag, in our carry bag, nowadays most of the luggage bag and carry bags are having the rollers. Okay, for them, what was there? For sliding them or just carry that luggage, it will be easier for us. Okay, so what was that? Here, just look at this. We are having a rollers, okay, on the luggage bag, on the carry bag. Okay, through which it can easily be roll and just be carry. Clear? Okay, now what is this? We have to be discuss about this. Now through an activity number 12.4, take a few pencils which are cylindrical in shape, place them parallel to each other on a table, place a thick book over it. Now push the book. You observe the pencil rolling as the book moves. Do you feel it easier to move the book in this way than to slide it? Do you think that resistance to the motion of the book has been reduced? Have you seen heavy machinery being moved by placing logs under it? This is that. Okay, what is this? What is this? Have you ever seen that the rollers present in any of the luggage, it will be help to reduce the resistance. Okay, it will be very much help us to reduce the resistance. How is it possible, and what is resistance? First thing is that what is resistance means here. Resistance means to oppose the motion of any of the object. Okay, means here when we are pushing the book, okay, what we are looking that the pencil has rolled the book to move. Okay, and it will be feel easier if we are just be slide it over the surface of the table. Okay, when we are put the pencils at downside of the book and then apply a pushing force on it, it will easily move ahead. But without the pencil rollers, if you are just push the book and it was sliding on the table, it will be more difficult and acquire less distance. Okay, so what was here? That the resistance of the motion of the book has been reduced. Resistance means opposing force which opposes the motion of the book over the table. It opposes the resistance of the motion of the book has been reduced. And who reduced that? Only the rollers. Okay, the pencils. That's the reason that the heavy machines, heavy machineries are being moved by placing logs under it. Okay, there are placing a logs under it, means roller under it. Look it here in this diagram. What we are looking, that there are three pencils, the cylindrical pencils are under the book. Okay, and through which it will be easier to move the book. Okay, and acquires maximum displacement as compared to that sliding. Clear? Now when one body rolls over the surface of another body, resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction. Rolling reduces friction. Remember this thing. What it says, that the rolling reduces friction. If the rollers are there underneath of any of the thing, it reduces the friction. It is always easier to roll than to slide a body over another. Okay, it is always be easier to roll than to slide a body over the another. Okay, that is the reason it is convenient to pull the luggages fitted with the rollers. Can you now understand why wheels is said to be one of the greatest invention of mankind, isn't it? Okay, by looking at this, we are just be thinking, yes, the invention of the wheels is the great invention by the mankind. Okay, it will be help to persons to carry the heavier luggage without any extra force. Okay, so here the definition of rolling friction. When one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction, and the rolling reduces the friction. Okay. Okay. So you are able to understand the definition of the rolling friction, and even the rolling reduces the friction, and why it will be easier to roll than to slide. Okay. Now, since the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction, so sliding is replaced in most machines by rolling by the use of ball bearings. Common examples are the use of ball bearings between hubs and the axles of the ceiling fans and bicycles. Okay, now the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction. Okay, the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction because rolling friction reduces the friction. Sliding friction is having a maximum amount of friction as compared to rolling friction. Okay, so that's the reason that the sliding is replaced in most of the machines by rolling. Okay, by the use of ball bearing. And the common example of ball bearing, that and our the hubs, between the hubs and the axle of the ceiling machines, ceiling fans are there. So there are two things, hubs and the axles. Between the hubs and the axles, there are some ball bearings are there, like this. Ball bearings are there. So at ball bearings, when the hubs and the axles are moved, they having a less friction. Okay. And even in the bicycle also, have you ever seen that the chain is there on the bicycle and it was moving, that was having a spherical things, okay, in the chain? That was what? That was a ball bearings. Okay, so all these things, the size of a roller, a shape of a roller has reduces the friction, and it will be convenient for us for having a motion of any of the object. Clear? Okay. Then next is, look at this, all these things are there like this. Ball bearing reduces the friction. Look at here, there are the ball bearings between the hubs and the axles. Okay, what they do? Reduces the frictions. Okay, they reduce the friction. Now next is fluid friction. What is fluid friction, beta? Now let's discuss. It was a new friction which we are studying. The rolling friction and the sliding friction we have already studied in our previous chapter, force and pressure. Okay, isn't it? We have already studied about the sliding and the rolling friction in a brief and clearly. So the concept of both these two frictions you already understand. Now the new friction is there, that is your fluid friction. What is this? You know that air is very light and thin, yet it exerts frictional force on object moving through it. Similarly, water and other liquid exerts force of friction when objects move through them. Okay, as the air exerts the friction. We know air is a very light and a thin particles containing, and it exerts a frictional force on the object when it was moving through it. Similarly, water and the other liquids are also be there which opposes which creates the friction. Okay, Now, why it is be called fluid? Okay, is there is any reason? Now, right now, which the whatever topics we have studied in the friction is regarding the solid things, solid objects. Now we are just discuss about the air and the liquid, and the combination of both air and liquid is termed as fluid. Okay, that's why the friction is called as fluid friction. Okay, the friction exerted by air and liquid is termed as the fluid friction. So in science, common names of gases and liquids is fluids. Okay, so we can say that the fluids exerts force of friction on objects in motion through them. Okay, so we can say that fluid exerts force of friction on objects in motion through them. So what was a frictional force exerted by fluid is also called drag. What is called, beta? It also called drag. So for this, if in exam the question arises, define drag, and what is drag? The frictional force exerted by the fluids is called drag. This is your drag. Okay, means a fluid exert a frictional force, that terms as drag. Remember, fluid means air, and that liquid. Okay, this exerts is termed as your drag. The frictional force on an object in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid. The frictional force also depends on the shape of the object and nature of the fluid. Okay, the frictional force depends on the two things. One is the shape of the object and another is the nature of the fluid. Okay, on these two things the fluids depend. For the more discussion about it, we have just go through an activity. With this it will be clear to us.
Exist only between solid parts? Not necessarily. Friction is offered by fluids like air and water as well. And this force of friction due to fluids is referred to as a fluid friction. The friction we've seen between solid parts is referred to as dry friction. The major states of matter are solid, liquid and gas. And liquids and gases are generally referred to as fluids. Why are liquids and gases considered to be fluids? One common characteristic of fluids is that they have no fixed shape and can be easily deformed. Let's discuss a bit more about fluid friction in this lesson. Just like solids, fluids too exert a force of friction when objects move through them. Do you think air offers resistance? Doesn't seem intuitive, right? When I drop a stone from a particular height, it falls to the ground. Does air offer resistance here? Of course it does. What about water? Does it offer resistance? Yes, when the fish swim, they encounter fluid resistance from the water. The frictional force exerted by fluids is also referred to as drag. What does fluid friction depend on? Let's talk about the first obvious factor. It's the nature of the fluid. To understand this point, you just need to answer a simple question. An object moves from point A to B through air, and in the second case, a similar object travels from A to B through water. Which object do you think encounters more resistance? Clearly, it will be the water, right? Yes, more the thickness of the fluid, greater will be the frictional force acting on an object which moves through it. There's a term which describes a fluid's resistance to flow. It's called viscosity. So here, we can say that the water is more viscous than air. Higher the viscosity, more will be the resistance offered by that fluid. Honey is more viscous than water, which is why it offers more friction than water. That was the first factor affecting fluid friction, the nature of the fluid. Can you think of any other factor? Another factor is the speed with which the object is traveling. Higher the speed of the object moving through a fluid, greater will be the frictional force acting on it. A vehicle traveling at 100 miles per hour will face more drag of air as compared to a similar vehicle traveling at 50 miles per hour. Apart from the nature of the fluid and the speed with which the object is traveling, is there any other factor on which fluid friction depends on? Yes, it also depends on the shape of the object. And it's really important that we understand this factor well. Have you ever thought about why aeroplanes are shaped like this? It could just have been a rectangular box flying in the air. How have the fish evolved to be shaped like this? Why are the ships designed to be given this shape? There's a reason for all this. They're given a streamlined shape to minimize the fluid friction. The shape of the aeroplane, if you notice, is like that of a bird. This process of giving an object a particular shape to decrease the fluid friction is known as streamlining. Streamlining the object can greatly reduce the resistance offered by the fluid. A car faces lesser friction from air as it has a streamlined shape. A bus, on the other hand, will face more air friction as it doesn't have a streamlined shape. So these were the different factors on which fluid friction depends.
So I hope you can easily understand through this activity that how it is possible that nature and the shape of the object is depends on the frictional force. Okay, even the birds is having a different shape, that's why it can easily fly on the sky. The fish is having a different type of a shape, that's why they are easily swim in a liquid, a water. Okay, so all these things are depends for the frictional force. It is obvious that when the object move through the fluids, they have to overcome friction acting on them. In this process, they lose energy. Efforts are therefore made to minimize the friction. So objects are given special shapes. Where do you think the scientists get hints for these special shapes? From nature, of course. Birds and fishes have to move about in fluids all the time. Their bodies must have evolved to shape which would make them not to lose much energy in overcoming friction. Okay, you read about these shapes in class 6th also. Look carefully at the shapes of the aeroplane. Do you find any similarity in its shape and that of a bird? In fact, all vehicles and designs are designed to have a shapes which reduce the fluid frictions like this. Have you ever think about this, beta? That it was be having a shape like a bird through which it can easily be able to remove the friction, a fluid friction. Okay, so all the things are just be happen for this only. Now through this our today's homework is first question is define sliding friction, define rolling friction, differentiate between sliding and rolling friction, define fluid friction, define drag. Okay, so these all are your questions for today's homework, and I hope you are enjoying, and if any of the doubts you are having, you can easily ask in the doubt corner. Clear? Okay, thank you. That's all for today.